Here's your wrestling news for May 10th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: Becky Lynch signs new WWE contract. Training footage of Becky Lynch's WWE return is leaked. MJF dropped a bombshell. AEW management worried. Paul Heyman nominates something unique to go into WWE Hall of Fame. Top matches announced for Monday Night Raw. How WWE restricts referees' activities outside of the company. Yet another big setback for Cryback becomes a joke on Twitter. Rumor killer on John Cena's WWE return. Did WWE impose restrictions on superstars? Are they allowed to mention Daniel Bryan on air? Vince McMahon wanted to own my life, said an ex-WWE employee, and more. We're starting today with Becky Lynch, who's been missing from the ring for over a year since she vacated the Raw Women's Championship last May. Now, we've had our biggest tease yet that the man is coming back very soon, as Ringside News is reporting that WWE have inked a new deal with Lynch, which was quietly done a few weeks ago. This new contract comes 2 years after Lynch's last deal in WWE, and comes after she gave birth to baby daughter Rue last December. This new contract isn't the only hint of Lynch's impending return, as a new photo has been released from the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy showing Lynch going hard in a workout. It's hardly surprising that Lynch was spotted there, as her fiancé Seth Rollins is part owner of the academy, and between her workout and her new contract, it seems the man will be coming around very soon. AEW news next, and MJF has quickly established himself as one of the top heels in the company, but that doesn't mean he'll be riling up fans of the All Elite promotion forever. Speaking to Steel Chair magazine this week, MJF stated that his current contract with AEW ends in 2024, and he may not choose to re-sign if there's other offers on the table. He said, "Me and my boys were willing to go wherever the money's at, it's that simple. Don't get me wrong, AEW runs deep in me. I don't want to leave, but I'm a businessman at the end of the day, and I can't help myself if somebody's got an offer for me." Given how successful he's been as a heel, we imagine WWE would be interested in bringing MJF on board and would have the money to make him a respectable offer. MJF had a career-defining performance last week when the Pinnacle won the first ever Blood and Guts match, and whilst the cocky heel also expressed desires to be AEW World Champion, his future may be in WWE. Back to WWE, and there's few non-wrestlers more beloved by fans than Paul Heyman, who's been a mainstay in the company since his return in 2012. Despite managing some of the biggest stars ever, Heyman hasn't received a Hall of Fame nod, but this week put forward his own suggestion for next year's ceremony. In a tweet, Heyman suggested that the entire ECW audience should be inducted, saying that those faithful fans are worthy of a Hall of Fame induction. Whilst it may be tricky to induct an entire fanbase, it's hard to argue that any fanbase deserves it more than the ECW faithful, as the Extreme promotion wouldn't have risen to the heights it did without such a loyal audience. Over to Raw, and tonight's show will be the go-home Raw for WrestleMania Backlash, and 2 matches have been announced. Tonight, Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler will face Asuka, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke, whilst Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Matt Riddle, and Randy Orton will face AJ Styles, Omos, Elias, and Jackson Riker, and we'll have to see who builds momentum on the final stop before WrestleMania Backlash. It's no secret that WWE has some strict rules that all employees must follow, but there's also special rules for referees, which can sometimes hurt the official's wallet. Speaking to Wrestle Talk, former WWE referee Mike Chioda explained how referees aren't allowed to market themselves in any way, and compared this to AEW. He said, "It was amazing for me to see Aubrey Edwards. She had shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. We were never allowed to do that. I mean, we weren't allowed to make any extra money. We weren't allowed to be on the video games for WWE. I was in one for a short time on SmackDown until I asked if it was okay to get compensated because a lot of the guys were getting $40,000 checks every quarter or $80,000 checks every 3 months, and then the Christmas one would be huge after that. I started asking about how it came. Can you be here a certain amount of time to get it? A wrestler could come in and in 6 months or a year, they're on the video game and they wouldn't do anything with the referees. As soon as I had asked and started talking about that, I got taken out. Then they paid someone in the office to do it for like $2 or $3 grand to be in the video game. It wasn't even a referee, he was just a guy in the office. They used his likeness, then paid him one time. This isn't the first time Chioda spoke about royalties, as last year he discussed asking WWE to pay him as they were using him in a video game, and the company opted to take him out of the game instead. While superstars can get huge royalty checks, referees have to make do with the salary offered to them by WWE. And it's interesting that NXT official Drake Wirtz can promote his conspiracy theories outside of work, but an official can't even open up a PWT's store. Now recently, former WWE star Ryback has been asking fans what he should do next with his life, and the big guy didn't appreciate the responses of the first two polls that told him to retire. Claiming widespread voter fraud had changed the result, Ryback put out a third poll this week, saying he's fixed things by blocking all trolls and fraudulent accounts, and added that he will definitely respect the results of this new poll. Now, even more people have told the big guy to hang up his boots, as over 12,000 people have voted for him to retire, making up 66% of the vote. Despite claiming he'd respect the result, Ryback sent out a follow-up tweet claiming that fans are paying for bot accounts to vote for him to retire as part of what he's calling a tweet-spiracy. When one fan asked Ryback if he has actual proof that these votes have been rigged, the former WWE star said he absolutely had proof, but didn't actually share any. Though he claims to respect the vote, we imagine Ryback will soon be putting a fourth poll up, as he hopes to get the results he wants despite what the fans are saying. John Cena is a very busy man, as his filming of the HBO Max Peacemaker series kept him away from WrestleMania 37, but that hasn't stopped fans from believing he's returning soon. Recently, a Twitter account called @WWEE shared a tweet promoting Cena's return to Raw in 2 weeks, which got a lot of attention, including 2,671 likes and 400 retweets. Though many fans think the tweet is legitimate, it isn't, as it's using an old Raw logo, and it isn't helping matters that many fans who understand that this is a joke are still replying in the comments. Cena did recently tease a return to WWE with a cryptic Instagram post last week, but nothing has been confirmed by Cena or WWE, so fans shouldn't expect the 16-time world champion on the red brand in 2 weeks' time. From one former world champion to another, as Daniel Bryan's contract with WWE expired earlier this month, and he's now considered a free agent. Since his contract expired, WWE has reportedly been pushing hard to re-sign the former WWE champion, and according to PW Insider, that's seemingly what's going to happen. In the report, it's noted that WWE does not have a rule against talents mentioning Bryan by name, a big sign that they're planning on re-signing him. This is in stark contrast to the CM Punk situation 7 years ago, where WWE did all they could to not bring up Punk after he walked out of the company. On the latest After the Bell, both Corey Graves and Vic Joseph gave their thoughts on what's next for Bryan, and judging by WWE's lack of rules against him, it seems a return to the company could be happening soon enough. AEW news, and after last week's Blood and Guts special, this week's Dynamite isn't selling well at all. Despite 3 title matches announced, including Jon Moxley's IWGP US title on the line, the show hasn't sold many tickets at all, according to Dave Meltzer, who spoke on Wrestling Observer Radio. Meltzer speculated that people are perhaps saving for the Double or Nothing event on May 30th, and with AEW running tickets in the same location week after week, it may be that the market has dried up after weeks of fans paying for tickets. More from WWE, and John Cena is undoubtedly one of the biggest superstars ever, becoming a 16-time world champion and face of the company, and was a face for almost all of his WWE career. Despite being a face, Cena got an incredibly hostile reaction when he entered ECW One Night Stand 2006, a show that saw him lose the WWE title to Rob Van Dam. Speaking to Metro this week, Paul Heyman discussed that infamous match, which included the famous "If Cena wins, we riot" sign, saying, "John Cena feeds off of the interaction with a live audience like very few people on the face of the planet in history ever have, ever could, ever would, or ever have the ability to generate that level of passion from a live crowd. I think John Cena to this day loved every single micro moment of it." RVD's reign as WWE champion was short-lived, but remains one of the highlights of his Hall of Fame career, And though we don't know when Cena will be back thanks to his busy movie and television schedule, we're hoping it's very soon. And we're ending today with a man who knows John Cena very well, Vince McMahon. And whilst the chairman has reportedly been very supporting of John's career's prospects outside of WWE, not everyone is so lucky. Whilst speaking this week on the Smarkbusters podcast, Vince Russo unloaded on WWE's chairman, saying, "When you're working for Vince McMahon, you have to be. He demands that. He owns your life 24/7, and that's fine. I bought into that, but unfortunately, this is where he's not smart about it. While he's owning your life, he's also burning you out. You see now, if that's me, and I'm the owner of the company, and I'm depending on somebody as much as he's depending on me, I'm going to make sure that person has some breaks, that person has time to rest their batteries. I'm going to make sure because I want longevity from that person, but with Vince, it was nonstop, 24/7, for 5 years straight, and at the end of that, I was completely done." Vince McMahon can be a demanding character because he's a perfectionist and expects the same level of quality from everyone he works with. Sometimes that includes going non-stop for days, and although this isn't the right working conditions for everyone, it's hard to argue with the empire McMahon built with that mindset. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.